Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another Sunday night live stream. Tonight is Sunday, December 29th, 2024. It is almost the end of the year. How's everyone's year been? Hopefully good. Abdi, GR, Nash, Wisdom and Peace, A, Andre, Zaida, Alina, Edward, Everyday, Wanda, Mark, Spike. Hi, welcome to another Sunday night live stream. Appreciate you joining me on a kind of cold and rainy day here in Chicago. Can you believe it's the end of the year? Do you feel like your year was good? Do you feel like you accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish for 2024? Hopefully you did. Hopefully you were able to do the things you wanted to, progress, not strive for perfection in that type of way. But we'll get into that. Today's topic, how did I label that? No resolutions, just results. What do I mean by no resolutions, just results? I'm sure that many of us are here now and think about the 1st of January of 2024. On the 1st of January 2024 or on December 31st, 2023, did you give yourself a goal of losing X amount of pounds? Did you say I was going to be in the best shape of my life for 2024 when I turn however many years old? And if it was your resolution, were you able to accomplish that? Or have you told yourself this time and time again? And here we are now at the tail end of 2024. And now you're telling yourself the same thing for 2025. I ask this question because I'm sure there are probably a number of us who think this way, who have now decided to, you can't even wait till Monday, because I know probably most people at this point, they're not waiting till Monday. They're waiting until January 1st to start their weight loss, health and wellness journey. And for those that aren't, for those that are actually here today and you're continuing your journey, good for you. If you're also here because you're restarting in that type of way, more power to you for starting today instead of waiting until the 1st of January. If you're waiting until the 1st of January, I will always hope that that will be the last year you tell yourself you're going to restart your journey. Most people that are in here, most people that I talk to have a very similar type of thinking where they're going to start on a Monday. They're going to wait till the 1st. They're going to wait till their birthday passes or when they turn X years old to start. At a certain point in time, you have to start asking yourself, am I just doing that to prolong what I've been meaning to do? Because what you're trying to do is so difficult because you're giving yourself these, I don't want to call them unrealistic goals, but it might be a point or at least something to think about where you ask yourself, okay, I can give myself these big goals. I can set all of these achievements and challenges that I want to do. But maybe on top of having that, it's also time for you to give yourself some grace and accept imperfection. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, no, I don't want to do it imperfectly. I want to do it in the most spectacular way as possible. Sure, I will always, especially anyone I work with, I will always push for that if you can do it healthily. At the same time, I also want people to be realistic with their expectations and tell themselves, hey, if you're not able to push whatever you're trying to do, if you don't get to those specific goals during a specific period of time, does that mean you throw everything away and you start all over? You wait till Monday, you wait till the 1st of February, the 1st of March, whatever day falls on a Monday. How long does this have to keep going on? And so when I talk about just results, no more resolutions, I say that because that's where I'm at today, but that's also my hope for you in the future is that you stop looking at this journey as I'm going to start blah, 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 blah. Everything will change on blah, 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 blah. And instead, just accept the fact that life is happening now. You can hit a timer today. You can log the data today, and you can just keep moving on with your life and look at the results and learn from yourself and accept the imperfection that comes with just the journey of life. I will continue hammering this point over and over and over because I think many of us need that reminder, myself included. This is something that I continue to tell myself day in and day out. And sure, I might not have a resolution for 2025, but I still do have goals. There are still things that I want to accomplish, but I don't look at it in the same way of, oh man, I'm going to start my journey on the 1st when midnight hits. And I mean, I think for many of us, we're probably doing something New Year's Eve. You're probably going to be celebrating at midnight. Maybe you're going to be drinking champagne. Maybe you're going to be eating. For me, back in the day when I would do something on New Year's Eve, it would be 2 a.m. and I would be drunk and I'd be looking for tacos at 3 a.m. So there goes your, I'm going to start at midnight if you're that type of person. But we'll get into that in a moment. Spike with a $10 super chat. Spike, thank you so much for the support. Spike, thank you for always. It's nice to see you. I appreciate the continued support as always. So thank you, Spike. Jerome, October 1st, 263 pounds today, 229 pounds fasting, hitting the timer and keeping a log of progress for motivation, as well as Jerome's sermons every Sunday. You all can do it. Let's go. Spike, thank you for the motivation. Thank you for also just sharing your journey too. Spike and I, we've been talking for quite a bit, although it's been a minute. We should actually catch up. Spike's always had some great advice for a lot of people on here, has always been a motivator as well. So appreciate you being here, showing up in this way too. And thank you so much for the support as always. Appreciate you, Spike. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So when I talk about no resolutions and just results, when I talk about imperfect consistency, I'm talking about taking the good with the bad. I'm talking about, hey, can this be a different change for you where you start accepting the fact that you are going to have bad days? And the bigger question is, how will you move on from those bad days? Will you wake up the next day and then tell yourself, I'm going to start doing X, Y, and Z? Are you going to spiral out of control? Are you going to learn from your mistakes? I think that's the bigger challenge for many of us. We're so used to doing things a specific way. And the moment we don't do things perfectly, we just throw it all away. Why do we do that? For me personally, I think I used to do that because one, I was always striving for the perfect everything. And even the smallest thing would set me off. If I was trying to start at midnight and start on a Monday, and let's say the next day I had a twinge of hunger, and let's say something at work didn't go right, or somebody got upset about something, that would be enough to set me off. And I'd be like, oh, forget it. I'm just going to start tomorrow. And I wonder, when I think about those days in the past, did I do that because those things were really setting me off? Or did I do that because that was an excuse for me to eat, to run away, to not show up? And I think it was probably a mix of all of those things. I think I was trying to do things perfectly, but I was also making the challenge super difficult. And instead of facing the fact that I didn't want to do something super hard that day, super difficult that day, I would just say, forget it. I'm just going to binge. I'm not going to do anything work related, health related, financially responsible related. That was just my MO. That's just the way I used to do almost anything back then. Abdi with a $5 super sticker. Abdi, thank you so much. Appreciate the support as always. I don't know what the sticker looks like right now, Abdi, but I will take a look at it after the stream. Abdi, thank you so much for the continued support as always. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. So today is day 420 of my fasting journey, but not just 420 days of performing rolling fasts. This is 420 days of combined good and bad days. This is 420 days of some days went okay, some days were awesome, some days could have been better, some days were shitty. But nowhere in those 420 days did I tell myself that I was going to restart. Nowhere in the last 420 days did I tell myself, what's the point of doing this? This isn't the way I want to do it right now. So let's just wait, start on Monday. There was no point of me. There's no part of me that wanted any of that. That was a very big barrier for me to cross. And 420 days later, there's no part of me that wants to even think like that anymore. At least in that sense of starting over. And I think that's a great thing. Like I said, my hope for many of you who are on here, you cut that shit out. You know what I mean? No more waiting, no more restarting, no more waiting till Monday. Listen, there are a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people that I coach who still have this mindset. And I said this yesterday on the video I put out. It doesn't change overnight. Something like that has been ingrained in us for so long that we keep doing these things over and over because it's habitual. We are in a really bad habit and we need to break ourselves out of it. What that looks like, how you're going to get out of that habit is up to you. This is why I will always preach about imperfect consistency, but it's also why, for me at least, I think showing up And being accountable is probably one of the best ways to do it. To always show up no matter what, even during the difficult times. Many of us, we can show up during the times we're doing well. Many of us, when we're on an extended fast, I mean, think about it. If you've been watching me for a while, if you've been here for every Sunday night live stream, thank you, first of all, for the support. But if you've been here pretty regularly, think about the times that you have spoken in chat and you've shared your progress when you're doing well. Now, think about the times when you weren't doing well. Did you even show up? Did you even share that you were struggling? And I'm not saying that you have to, but for me, for example, I have been here every Sunday except with the exceptions of vacation and when I've already said I wasn't going to be here on a Sunday. But for the last 60 Sundays, I think I've been here for 57 of them, 56 of them. And there was never a week where I was like, I can't make it. I have been here every single time because I know this is important to me. I know it's important to other people as well. Wanda with another $20 super chat, another because I think you also super chatted the same amount last week. Wanda, thank you so much for the support. As always, Wanda, I appreciate you. Wanda says, 36 hours into my 48-hour fast, down 5 pounds from last week. Congratulations, Wanda. I love that for you. I'll be celebrating New Year's, but I'm going to hit that timer New Year's Day. There you go. Exactly. Hitting a timer consistently, logging your data consistently, being transparent, being honest consistently. That consistency can and will pay off if you show up. Wanda, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Because you're going to be doing another 48-hour fast. I see that. Still got 30 pounds to go to my goal of 130 pounds. Wanda, please keep us posted as always. I love that for you. Please keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you so much. Thank you again for the support and congratulations on your success. Appreciate you. Okay, with all of that being said, I want people to remember, anyone who's in here in chat right now, as I've shared all of this, let this be your accountability if that's helpful for you. This is and should be, and I will always look at this as a safe space. So please, if this is helpful for you, share if you're doing well. Share if you're struggling. There are other people here in chat. There are other people that will help answer questions and be supportive. It's also a really great reminder to let you know you're not alone on your journey, that there are other people who are doing amazing. There are other people who are struggling. There are other people who are new to this. There are other people who probably have a ton of questions. And please, if you do have questions, I will go through Q&A. I just save it till the end. But let this be a place for you for that type of accountability if it's helpful in that regard. When I talk about showing up and how I've been here every Sunday and why this is important to me, I know for a fact, and I have said this many times, I've said it to people I've coached, but if I didn't have my coaching sessions, if I didn't post regularly on social media, if I didn't continue to hit my timer, if I didn't continue to log my data, I don't know if I would be able to keep this weight off. I would imagine there's a high probability that I would not be able to maintain what I've been doing. There's a high probability that I would have not lost this weight the way I did and kept it off now for 9 months. I'm 14 months into this. I am a year and 2 months into this. Yeah, that's 14 months. There are still people in my comments who tell me this is not sustainable. There are people in my comments who are going to tell me I'm going to gain all the weight back. And in a lot of ways, it's fuel for me to keep going. That type of accountability, that type of hate in that way, but also the type of support that I get from the majority of people is what keeps me going. Me showing up in this way is super, super helpful for my progress. And I say this because my hope is also for you if accountability is important in that way, by all means, whatever is helpful for you. Raj with a $7 Canadian super chat. Raj, thank you so much for the support. Raj, I don't think I've seen you here before, but I appreciate the donation. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Hey, Jerome, I did try fasting before, but still, it's been 4 months since I did my 72-hour fast and gained 15 pounds more than before, only because of my eating. So, Raj, thank you again for the $7 super chat. Let's have a quick coaching session here. So you tried fasting before. It looks like you were maybe successful during that fast. The question is for you and for anyone else who might be in a very similar situation is what happened after the fasting? Did you continue hitting your timer? Did you continue? So when I say hitting a timer, let me just explain this. Sometimes there are a lot of us who will ask me, what's the point? Why even hit a timer if I'm not fasting for a long period of time? And I'll tell you, for me, hitting a timer on a consistent basis over and over and over and over, if I don't hit a timer, I'm not being accountable. If I decide to not hit a timer, there's something that happens in my brain that says, well, I guess I can eat because no one's watching. I'm not holding myself accountable. And I'm not saying that this is what is going to solve it for you, Raj, but at the same time, I look at this as, hey, if you're at least in this process of hitting a timer over and over and working on your fasting muscle, whether it's a 10-hour fast, whether it's a 15-hour fast, whether it's a 27-hour fast, whether it's a 127-hour fast, sometimes hitting a timer can just be a mindful practice that gets you in a habit. And once you get into that habit, you can start to optimize that habit. You can be better about some of the things that you do. Now, I'm not saying this is how things work and that's going to solve all your problems, but I mean, you've said it here too. You see eating as the problem, but sometimes what are the other causes that are getting you to eat this way? Are there triggers? Are there things that are setting you off? Is it work stress? Are you using food for comfort, food for stress, food for boredom? If the answers to all of those are yes, then sometimes that's where accountability comes into play. You'll have to keep us posted on where you're at because for many of us, we'll fast, we'll get a good fast under our belt. Maybe we'll do well for a week or a month or even 3 months, but something eventually happens where we slip off and then it will be weeks or months before we even come back. And when people do that, the way I think about it is these are bad habits that creep up. You've just fallen back into that bad habit. And maybe if you think about what you were doing previously, is what you were doing previously too difficult? Did you feel burnt out? Did you feel like you were doing too much? And that's where imperfect consistency starts coming into play. Raj, I appreciate the donation. I appreciate the support. So hopefully, well, it looks like you just donated again. So let me continue on. Raj says, please, and if you're comfortable, how fasting and losing weight helped you in your relationship, also in physical relationship. I'm in a long distance and I'm worried. Hope you understand. How fasting and losing weight helped you in your relationship. Are you talking about when you say long distance? I'm guessing you're talking about a partner. For me, this has taken a lot of time for me to start realizing that, and I say this a lot on my streams, is for me, I try to not value myself solely based on my looks. I try not to value myself solely based on my weight. Yes, of course, it goes in my head. I mean, the sole reason I started losing weight in the first place was for vanity. And in some ways, it still is like that for me. It's taken a lot for me to get myself out of that place. I will say though, being where I'm at today, being in a weight that I'm happy in, I'm a lot more comfortable in my skin. I'm a lot more comfortable and confident in who I am as a person. So, yes, those are motivating factors for me to keep doing what I'm doing. But there are also so many other things at play here when it comes to my health, when it comes to, when I say health, I'm talking about all of the optimal markers with health, my blood pressure, my diabetes, being energetic, sleeping well. There's just so many positives when it comes to being healthy. So I don't know if this is really the question that you're asking or if this is the answer that you're looking for. But Raj, maybe if it's helpful for you, you can always maybe look into the coaching. Maybe we can have a conversation. Maybe I can help you answer your questions in a better way. I mean, I do appreciate the support. I just don't know if I'm answering the specific question that you're asking. So hopefully this is helpful in that regard. Health reset with a $7 Canadian super chat. Raj, also thank you for the $14 Canadian. Health reset, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. I don't know if I've seen you here either. Did you ever get sick performing rolling fasts? I didn't. I I have a very easy answer for this, but they seem scary and like it's going against what the body needs to stay healthy. So I'll say this to many people here too. There are other people in chat who I'm sure can share this as well. When I first started performing rolling fasts back in 2019, yes, I occasionally felt nauseous. There were times where I did have a headache. There were times where I did feel weak. One thing that I've learned over time, because I don't feel any of those anymore. It's been a long time since I felt anything in that regard. Some of the things that you need to be aware of while you're doing this is, are you hydrated? Other people take electrolytes. Sometimes that's helpful for them. It was helpful for me at the very beginning, but I don't do any of that. Electrolytes, I mean. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't anymore. Yes, I still do drink water. But if they seem scary, the way you can do this too is, it doesn't mean you have to do a 36-hour fast, a 48-hour fast, a 65-hour fast, a 90-hour fast right out of the gate. Sometimes what this means is you have to work and build your fasting muscle. That's the important part here is, can you just get yourself in a routine? Can you build a habit of starting a fast? There are people in the comments sometimes who are like, I can't even get past 12 hours. And then I will say, okay, if you can't get past 12 hours, I'm sure you could do 12 hours in 5 minutes. I'm sure you could do 12 hours in 15 minutes. I'm sure you could do 12 hours in 30 minutes eventually. Sometimes you have to build up to that point. So when you say things like, did you get sick? I don't think I got sick per se. Yes, I might have felt some side effects, but the one thing I say to anyone I work with as well is, if you cannot function like a normal human being, if you're fasting and let's say you're 13 hours into your fast, if you can still get up off of your couch, if you can still walk to the bathroom, if you can still go outside for a walk, if you can still work, it's usually in your head. Now, if you're 13 hours fasted and you are sick in bed and you can't crawl out of your bed, but I mean, first of all, if someone can't crawl out of their bed after just being fasted for 13 hours, I think there might be another issue there. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you are feeling sick or you're feeling off at any point in time and you've tried to hydrate, maybe you've tried to take electrolytes, then break your fast. There is no shame in breaking your fast. There is no shame in refeeding and then hitting your timer and going again. You're not competing with anyone here but yourself. There's no need to fast for as long as I do. There's no need to eat as much as I do. There's no need to exercise the way I do. My journey is my journey. Your journey is yours. You are only going to figure out what works for you as you start doing this, as you start building a routine, as you start building your fasting muscle. health reset. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm sure there are other people here too that can help you out, that probably have great advice as well. So again, thank you for the support. I know I probably, oh man, we're already 32 minutes into this. Is this going to be a long stream tonight? We'll see. We'll see. Okay. I'm just looking at where I'm at. I'm still at the very beginning here. So as I talk about showing up and being accountable, and first of all, I appreciate everyone who's in here right now. It's December 29th. It's December 30th for other people in the world. But if you're in here right now, to me, it sounds like you're ready to go. Hopefully, you're not waiting until January 1st. If you are, that's on you. But I appreciate you being here. To me, it means that your health and wellness is important to you. To me, the way I look at this is you're showing up in a way that maybe you haven't before. And this is motivating and inspiring for you. And that is my hope as well for anyone that's in here. At the same time, I'm also celebrating 420 days of doing this. I've been doing this for 60 weeks. 60 weeks. Think about where you would be if you were on this journey with me 60 weeks in. I know there are some of you who are watching this right now who have watched me when I first streamed on November 5th. And I said, come along on this journey with me. Think about where you would be right now, even if you just did things in an imperfectly consistent way. If you told yourself you weren't going to be so hard on yourself, but you would show up every day, you would hit a timer every day, you would fill your data in every day. Let's say you just lost a pound a week, 1 pound a week, you'd be 60 pounds down. Even half a pound a week, you'd be 30 pounds down. 2 pounds a week, 120 pounds down. But I think the bigger point about doing something for 60 weeks consistently is that you would learn so much about yourself. You would probably peel back layers of yourself that you did not even know. What do I mean by that? I've said this before. The fasting I've done, the experience I've built over 60 weeks, the only reason I have this experience is because I have lived through it every single day, because I have shown up every single day. I have made it a point to be consistent every single day. Is every day a super long fasting day for me? No. Is every day a super hard lifting session? No. Is every day a day I'm on the treadmill with 15 on the incline? No. But I show up no matter what. You have seen me on these Sunday night live streams the day after a refeed, 5 days after a vacation, 13 days after a vacation. You have seen me 20 pounds up, 10 pounds up. You've seen me at my heaviest. You've seen me at my lightest. There is no part of me that has not shown up. And if you don't believe me, just check the YouTube channel and look at all the videos, all the live streams, all the shorts. I show up consistently. The only difference between me and you and your success is consistency. Maybe you don't believe me. But I'm going to remind you too that your success isn't just based on how long you can fast for. The 60 weeks of me doing this is also based off of me learning how to eat better. I know there are people in the comments who have commented on the way I eat now versus the way I ate before. There are still people who comment today and tell me how awful my eating is. But you know what? That's okay. My blood markers are good. I can't complain. I'm in a much better place today than I was 421 days ago. I have built this experience because I have lived through it instead of just throwing away the day, forgetting about what happened, running away from my problems. And instead, I'm just accepting it for what it is. Oh, Mike, Mike Cables with a $20 super chat. Mike, thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support as always. Happy holidays, coach. I still can't go. I still can't get over people calling me coach. Mike, thank you for the support. Just jumping in for a sec to say hi to you and the Finally Fasting fam. Talk soon, coach. I know you and I have a session in the near future, so I appreciate the support as always, Mike. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So let me just share this with you, right? I mean, I have a lot of nerd stats to go over today, but that is not what I wanted to share. Sorry about that. So 420 days, right? 60 weeks of me doing this. I want you to remember that this isn't 420 perfect days. This isn't 420 days of just success. It isn't. Yes, I can call it success maybe, but it's 420 days of progress. Also, every time I say the word 420, I just want to keep saying nice for people who know what I'm talking about. But anyway, in the last 420 days, I have completed 158 fasts. I want you to remember those 158 fasts weren't all 90-hour fasts. Those 158 fasts weren't all 165-hour fasts. Those 158 fasts are a combination of 10-hour fasts, 22-hour fasts, 14-hour fasts. But they're still fasts. They still count. They still matter to me. Why? Because I need to hold myself accountable no matter what. In the last 420 days, I have only eaten for 158 of those days, which means 262 of those days I have not eaten. I have now been averaging about a 58-hour fast with a 6-hour refeed, meaning that I'll fast for 58 hours, I'll refeed for 6, I'll fast for 58 hours, I'll refeed for 6. That number used to be so much higher back in the day when I was fasting for 90 hours, 95 hours, so on and so forth, fasting for nearly 4 days versus now on average fasting for less than 2.5 days. But I have statistics to share with you when it comes to that. So I'll save that for a little bit. I'm looking for my glasses are just, I don't know why they're so dirty. What was I going to say here? So a reminder, right? I want you to, for anyone who's planning to start on the 1st of January, okay, I get it. I understand. It's so close to January 1st. You don't want to think about any other day but January 1st. I get it. I understand. If that's what you want to do, that's on you. At the same time, for any of you, if I can change your mind, why start on January 1st? If you're that person who has started on January 1st every single year, and then when January 1st doesn't work out, then you'll push it to a Monday. Then you'll push it to a 1st of February. Then you'll push it to when your birthday comes. Then you'll push it to after your vacation ends. Then you'll push it to after your work trip ends. Then you'll push it to whatever excuse you give yourself. What if you decided to just start today and hit a timer today? And even if you can't push a long fast that you want to push, why not just be okay with a short fast or a shorter fast, learning how to have a shorter refeed, learning how to eat better, maybe making it the first day you decide to get some steps in to build healthy habits. Why can't today be the first day for that? And I understand if it can't, because I've been there and I've done it. I've been that person. I've been that person where If I was old Jerome and new Jerome was having this live stream, old Jerome wouldn't even watch the live stream. I wouldn't even think about it at all. For the 2+ years I was gone from YouTube, I watched nothing health related at all. Nothing. Because I didn't want any part of it. Start tomorrow, start on Monday, start on the 1st. Count how many days are left before there's 100 days. Count how many days are left before there's 50 days. Count how many days are left before there's 49 days, because that's 7 weeks exactly. Ridiculous shit like that. If you're that type of person, I mean, think about how crazy that sounds. I don't want to call it ridiculous, but for me, that was pretty damn ridiculous, the shit I was doing. The fact that I would ask Google how many days are left in the year. Oh, that's exactly 300. Okay, that's the day I'm going to start. Oh, that's exactly 100 days. That's the day. Oh, there's 100 days left before my birthday. That's the day I'm going to start. Get out of that. Why? For what reason? Or is the real reason because you just don't want to do it and you're giving yourself a reason to push things out until later? That the smallest thing that's going to set you off is a reason to just throw everything away. Like I said earlier, I think for anyone who's thinking about starting on the 1st of January, I want you to maybe think about what your January 1st is actually looking like. Are you celebrating on New Year's Eve? Are you telling me that at midnight, you're not going to be celebrating? Instead, you're going to start your journey then, right at midnight. Okay, if that's what you want to do. I just know that for me, in the past, when I used to do shit like that, I was out celebrating New Year's Day. I was drinking. I was, like I said earlier, eating tacos at 2 a.m. Well, there goes the first 2 hours of your January 1st. And then I would do something stupid and I tell myself, well, January 1st isn't over yet. So I'll start when I wake up in the morning. And then I wake up in the morning, I feel like, oh God, I'm hungry or I'm hungover. Let me just eat. After I eat, then I'm going to start. What would happen later? Push it later, because you know what? I'm going to get hungry later in the evening. Oh, okay. After dinner, I'm going to start. It would come to the point where it would be 11:59 p.m. at night on January 1st. And I'd be like, I'm going to start then because at least it's still January 1st. I'm still starting on January 1st. That's the type of insanity that would go through my head. Do not be that person. Get yourself out of that. I don't know if that resonates with people or if you're like me and have done something like that before, but that is just not a place that I would ever want to find myself in again. If you are new to my channel or you're watching this live stream for the first time, just a reminder of who I am. I have been performing rolling fasts now for 420 days. What are rolling fasts? Rolling fasts are when you fast for a prolonged period of time, you eat for a short period of time, and then you roll into another prolonged fast. And I've been doing that over and over now for the last 420 days. Have all of those 420 days been prolonged fasts? No, but the majority of them have been. I have lost this weight and kept it off now for, well, I lost this weight in less than 5 months. I've kept it off now for 9 months. I've been doing this for over a year. I don't take any type of medication, even though people think, not many people, but I just saw comments yesterday about how I'm supposedly lying to people because I must be taking something, or I must be faking the amount of food I eat, or I must be faking the amount of fasting I'm doing, because it's just impossible. But everything I do is transparent. I'm very honest about what I do. I have done this without surgery, without injections. I'm not on Ozempic or anything like that. Literally through fasting. I have reversed my type 2 diabetes. I have reversed my high blood pressure. I am the healthiest and happiest I've been even at 44 years old. That's just my story. I don't hide anything with what I do and how I go about things. So it is time to do fit check. Fit check, for those who are new also, this is where I become a bit vulnerable and I share with you where I'm at physically right now. Just a reminder, like I need to update these photos because I know I have better photos than this, but just to share, I have been overweight, obese, morbidly obese pretty much my entire life. Even as a child, I was a big kid. Even as a teenager, I weighed as heavy as 235 pounds. I've weighed as light as 125 pounds when I first found fasting. I used to wear XL, double XL shirts. I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'3". I used to wear a size 38 waist, almost size 40. And currently I wear boys' clothes. Although today I'm wearing a size small adult, I am wearing a size extra large boys polo underneath. I did have my refeed yesterday, so I'm a bit up in weight right now. I'm in the mid 150s. I think this morning I was 156. Yesterday I was 149.8. I want people to remember, or remind people as well, I just spent 2 weeks of December, or also November, but I've spent the last month eating back-to-back days for half of that month. I ate back-to-back days on Christmas, so I am up in weight, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but I'll just kind of show you where I'm at currently. So, and I want people to remember this fit check that I do this no matter what. I do this when I'm 20 pounds up, 10 pounds up, when I'm at my goal weight, when I'm like, this is part of what I'm talking about when I talk about showing up. There's no part of me that wants to hide, that wants to run away, because I know the moment that I hide, the moment that I run away, the moment that I don't show up is when shit hits the fan. That is the slippery slope that I cannot find myself in. That is why you see me here every single Sunday. That's why you'll see me here every single Sunday, no matter what. That's why you'll see me here every single Sunday when people talk shit about me in the comments, when people commend me on what I do. I mean, all of it, for me, it keeps me going. So no matter what, I will be here. If for whatever reason I gain 75 pounds and I show up every week, that's still success to me, because I'm being accountable. No, I don't want to gain 75 pounds. That is not my goal. But what I'm trying to say is, hopefully showing up on a consistent basis, being accountable, will ensure me that I keep my goals and I stay consistent in what I'm doing. Currently, where I'm at, this is again a size small. I am wearing a size extra large boys underneath. These pants are a boys 14. So I don't know how many of you have children, but go to a Target and look for a boys extra large or 14. That's what I wear. So front shot, side shot, right? And that's where I'm at today. Question I get a lot is, do I have loose skin? Yes, I have loose skin. I do this every week. I'm mostly insecure about my loose skin here on my neck. You can see as I pinch it, it doesn't come back. I'm also 44 years old. I used to also wear like a size 20 something neck size. I don't know what it is now. I've lost a lot of weight on my neck and my face. It's one of the reasons I strength train a lot. My goal is to continue putting muscle on so that it helps with the loose skin. Yes, I do have loose skin in other areas. I have loose skin on my upper arms, but it's not awful. I do have loose skin on my lower belly. That is where most of it is, but it doesn't. I know a lot of people always ask, does it hang? Is it there's video of me with my shirt off in some of my other videos, so please feel free. I have never made a full video of my loose skin and my shirt off. I do feel insecure in that way. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that point, but yeah, it's a fact of life. But something that always comes up too is sometimes people worry about their loose skin. And for me, I tell myself, well, I would rather just still lose the weight. I would rather have loose skin and not have type 2 diabetes. I would rather have loose skin and not have high blood pressure. I would rather have loose skin and be able to climb a flight of stairs. Here, perfect example. Today, it rained all day today. It sucked. I wasn't able to do my 8,000 steps. I give myself 8,000 steps a day, 6 times a week. So today was my day off. Here's the thing. I decided to climb 10 flights of stairs in my apartment building today. 10 flights. I could not do that with old Jerome. Those 10 flights of stairs felt like nothing. Yes, there was maybe just like I could feel my quads getting tired, but that was it. Nothing crazy. Like I did it, no problem. I mean, I wear this Whoop now and it tests my resting heart rate. There are days where my resting heart rate's 42. It's crazy to me that I'm 44 years old and I'm just in the best shape of my life. And I'm not even doing anything super crazy. I don't jog. I don't run. I don't sprint. I just go for walks every day. I like to lift weights. I like to lift heavy, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. This is kind of what I'm talking about too when I talk about imperfect consistency. I hope people who watch me, I hope you think that I just don't fast all day, every day. I hope you don't think I'm sprinting and just hardcore working out every single day, because it's not like that at all. Yeah, I dedicate an hour or an hour and a half to walk in the morning, but it's such a leisurely walk. It it doesn't really feel like much at all. This is kind of why I do think it's really important to emphasize the fact that imperfect consistency can play such a huge role, because think about when I first started my journey and when I weighed 220 and I was going for an hour walk. They weren't fast walks. I wasn't sweating my ass off. Well, I was, because I was just super overweight, but I wasn't pushing and huffing and puffing in that type of way. I wasn't exerting that type of effort then. And as I continued to lose the weight, it made it easier for me to walk. My pace quickened, my cardio fitness got better. And now I'm in this place where I get to optimize that. I get to lift heavy because I get to eat more. I'm not fasting as much. And that's the thing too, imperfect consistency. I no longer fast the same amount I did in the past that I do now, but I'm going to share that in a bit. Actually, I'm going to show that after this super chat from Mark for $10. Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, Mark. As always, thank you for the support. Hey, coach, you guys keep calling me coach. Last live for the year. Let's go. That is last live. This year was up and down, but all in all, I'm proud to say progress was made. And that's what a lot of this is about. I think I've said this to Mark too. It's really interesting when I talk about imperfect consistency, because I think about even my work as a coach. And when I first started coaching in February, well, I had coached before that when I first had my channel, but let's just say when I first started coaching again in February of 2024, and the way I coach now, it's so different. I feel like I've learned so much over that time. And was it because I just decided to like go crazy and just like go through all these no. The only reason that I'm better at what I'm doing now is because I keep doing it every day, just like anything in life. You will get better at it if you're consistent with it. You all know this. You all know this. But maybe for many of us, the hard part is accepting the fact that when we're working out, when we're fasting, it's never good enough. What we're doing is never good enough. Oh, the weight on the scale is going up. It's never good enough. What's the point? I'm just going to quit, right? And I'm telling you, that's not what this is about. Yes, sure. Of course, we want to get the weight on the scale down. And that will come in time. That is a product of consistency. But in the meantime, can you be consistent with some of these other things that will prove later on that the weight on the scale will go down? Or even better yet, you will have non scale victories like your clothes fitting better, like your type 2 diabetes going away, like your high blood pressure going away, like you feeling more energetic, like you not sweating in the middle of the night because it's 70 degrees and you need it to be 65 with the fan on your face. I'm just saying all the shit that used to happen to me. All I'm saying is that consistency can pay off. Mark, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Looking forward to continuing the journey into 2025. Same here, Mark. It's been a pleasure to continue working with you. So look forward to our future sessions, which is, I think you and I have a session tomorrow. So Mark, thank you again for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to share with you what imperfect consistency really, really looks like. Okay. I want to share with you, I put together something that I called, and yes, be prepared for nerdy stats. I have here what I call my yearly roundup. And this is actually more than a yearly roundup. This is from the beginning of my journey. Okay. So if you look at the very first section here of this is my yearly roundup for the last 14 months of my journey. On November 2023, when I first started my journey, look at my average fast. My average fasting number for November of 2023 was 93 and a half hours. I'll just remind you, 96 hours is a 4-day fast. So I was nearly doing a 4-day fast for the entire month of January. But look at the month of December, a 92 and a half hour fast. So for 2 months in a row, I was averaging around a 4-day fast. Look at the month of January. January, I was averaging a 98 hour and 20-minute fast. So more than a 4-day fast. For the first 3 months, I was averaging a 4-day fast. Look at February, 90 hours, still up there. But you'll notice, look at what's happened as time has gone on. In March, an 87-hour fast. So starting to go down. In April, when I decided to take a vacation and have, I believe it was a 12-day vacation or so, 40 hours and a 51-minute fast. I was averaging less than a 2-day fast. 40 hours and 51 minutes for the entire month of April. Did I stop hitting my timer when I was on vacation? No. Did I stop hitting my timer because a 14-hour fast wasn't good enough? No, I still kept hitting the timer. What I'm trying to show you here is imperfect consistency, is that no matter what, I showed up every single day. I still hit a timer. Yes, you don't have to hit a timer every single day, but if you're not being consistent in what you're doing, if you find yourself circling over and over, restarting over and over, if you're not getting the results you want, why not be consistent first? Why not show some consistency in what you're doing before throwing it all away? That's kind of what I'm talking about here. So as you look into April, a 40-hour and 51-minute fast, May, 67 hours, June, 68 hours, July, 45 hours, August, 51 hours, September through November in the 40s with that. And you'll see here in December, this is the lowest average of fasting I have done. Honestly, these last 4 months have been a very, very low number in terms of fasting, averaging 35 hours and 43 minutes currently for the month of December. December isn't over yet, but 35 hours and 43 minutes. That is a day and a half fast on average. And that's because I was in Japan. I was doing much shorter fasts, and on average for that month, I'm only at 35 hours and 43 minutes. Now, here's the thing. If you look at the weight, of course, you'll see the weight in November be super high because that's when I started my journey. 217 when I started, down to 189. December, starting to trickle down. And then you'll see in March, I hit my goal. I was down 137.8 pounds. That's when I lost 80 pounds by March in less than 5 months. And then as time has gone on, you'll see April to 137, May 140, June 136, July hit my lowest at 135, August 137. And then the last 4 months, you've seen the weight creep up 142, 145, 144, 148. Those last couple months, yes, shorter fasts. Yes, the weight has gone up slowly over time. But there's no part of me that is ready to quit. Some people might look at that and they might say, but Jerome, you're gaining weight. Weren't you 135? Now you're close to 150. Yeah, but I'm also not fasting for 90 hours. I'm also going on vacation. I'm also eating back-to-back days. Let's not forget, Christmas of 2023, last year on Christmas, I fasted. Last year on Thanksgiving, I fasted. Last year on Thanksgiving, I performed a 163-hour fast during Thanksgiving. During Christmas, a 90-hour fast. During New Year's, I fasted for 140 hours. There's no part of me that wants to do that again. But Jerome, aren't you worried about gaining the weight? Nope, I'm not. I planned out a 2-week vacation to eat back-to-back days during November and December. I plan to eat back-to-back days during Christmas. My plan, January moving on, is to get back into my 65s and find myself back in the 140s, back in the 130s, and to still continue what my goals are. I think it's really important to remind all of you that what I'm doing today is not the same from what I did last year. I am not performing 90-hour fasts, 120-hour fasts, 160-hour fasts, because I am trying to do something different now. I am trying to accept the fact that I don't have to fast for long and I can still find success. I'm accepting the fact that I don't have to fast as long and I can continue working on the way I eat. I don't have to fast as long and I can continue working on my exercise, continue working on my sleep. Does that mean you're never going to fast that long again? No, I don't know if I will. I mean, the most recent fast that I did was lengthier than 65. I recently pulled an 82-hour fast. But I also know I don't have to do 90-hour fasts. I know I can do 65-hour fasts and find success. I just have to do it on a more consistent basis. For the month of January, I have nothing planned. I have no vacations planned. February is a different story. So is March, but we're not there yet. So right now, my focus is on January. I don't even know what that looks like per se. I haven't even really ironed that out yet, but maybe I'll talk about that today. Before I continue on here too, Drillosophy, did I say that right? Drillosophy 101 became part of the Finally Fasting fam. Drillosophy 101, thank you so much for joining. Anyone who's a Finally Fasting fam member, can we throw some F's up for Drillosophy 101? If you're a Finally Fasting fam member, you should have this emoji or whatever it's called in your emoji thing. So please, can we throw some F's up for Drillosophy? Drillosophy, thank you so much for the support. I don't know if you signed up for the autophagy group or the OMAD group just to support, but if you did sign up for the autophagy group, I will be hosting a live stream on the 1st of January. So hopefully I'll see you there. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to what my journey has looked like over time. I want to remind all of you, the last 14 months for me, yes, I worked my ass off at the very beginning. I was doing 90-hour fast after 90-hour fast after 90-hour fast. I was pushing really, really hard. Do I want to do that again? No, there's no part of me that really wants to do that. That was a very, very, I was able to do it, but it wasn't, it isn't like it was the hardest thing for me to do, but it also wasn't the most enjoyable. Doing 65-hour fasts, they don't feel like much to me. I know that's different for everyone, but I think I would only want to push a 90-hour fast if, for example, I went on vacation and I really needed a reset. That's kind of where I see myself at this point. But this journey has come a long way because when I was doing 90-hour fasts then, I remember there was one time when I think the timing wasn't right and I was only going to pull an 88-hour fast or an 89-hour fast. And I remember holding a live stream about it and feeling guilty about it. That was my all or nothing mentality back then. The fact that I was doing an 89-hour fast and I wasn't able to hit a 90 and that I felt guilty, like that was the mindset that I was still working through and a mindset that I was trying to get out of. Look at where the mindset is today. I don't feel like that. I'm not here crying over the fact that I'm currently 156 pounds right now. I also know that the weight I'm at right now is going to taper off again. I'm going to land myself back in the 140s. I also know that my body composition is different because I've added more muscle than where I was 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. After not hitting that 90-hour fast, that was like my first taste of imperfect consistency and realizing, okay, it doesn't always have to be like this. I don't always have to feel bad about it. And then when I hit my goal weight, I know that there were shorter fasts that I started to implement. I started experimenting with 65-hour fasts. I went on vacation. Remember my first vacation and I gained 20 pounds in, was it 10 days or whatever it was? And I remember people in the comments, they were all up in arms about it. Oh, there you go, Jerome. This is why you shouldn't do this because, right, I gained 20 pounds in 10 days. And then I think I lost 15 of it after a 48-hour fast. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm fine. I'm holding water. I'm not holding a bunch of fat. But that was a process that I've had to work through. My diet has changed over time. My fasting lengths have changed over time. My refeeding lengths have changed over time. They've gotten longer. My fasts have gotten shorter. I've been eating more frequently. I've been able to have vacations and not feel bad about it and not say, oh man, I ate 10 days in a row. I got to start over. Remember, I think it was maybe during the summertime, I started to feel burnt out. And that was a real moment too. There was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing this. I don't know what changed during that moment either. I think it was more the fact that I was starting to accept imperfect consistency in a much different way. And I was able to keep pushing. I haven't felt burnout since that last time. And when that burnout came, I decided to give myself like a 5-day vacation. And that was a really good reset. I've had more vacations since. I've learned from that. Look at my vacation when I went to Japan. Look at the way I ate versus the way I ate beforehand. Now, I'm not going to say that every single vacation after this is going to be cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. Maybe it will, but even if it doesn't, I know that I can bounce back. I know that I'm going to be okay because I can practice imperfect consistency to keep me going. That is the thing that has changed for me. Showing up, being accountable, practicing imperfect consistency, hitting my timer, logging my data. Here's the thing about logging data, okay? When I talk about logging data, maybe some of you don't understand what I'm talking about, but all of that data that I share with you, all of those nerdy stats, that is logging my data. But if you and I have never coached together, anyone that I coach, I give them a spreadsheet. I give them a spreadsheet that they get to fill out. Now, they don't have to fill it out if they don't want to, but I highly encourage it. Anyone that has worked with me before, you know what that spreadsheet looks like. one of the things that I didn't do as a coach at the beginning is I didn't share my spreadsheet with other people. Now, anyone that I coach, they have a copy of my spreadsheet. They get to see it in real time, what that looks like too. Now, here's the thing about that spreadsheet. One of the reasons I log that data is because it keeps me accountable, just like hitting the timer keeps me accountable, just like showing up to these sessions or this live stream keeps me accountable. I will also give anyone I coach a spreadsheet so that they can log their own data, and I give them a copy of mine, a living copy of mine, so that they can see it get updated every day, so that they also understand that they are not alone on their journey. These are just some of the things, some of the tools. This is a way to show you that, hey, you're not alone doing this. I say this on every live stream. You are not alone in this. We're doing this together. This would be different if I was just, I don't know, some fitness influencer who showed you that all I did was eat perfect and exercise perfect. And I think I've told many of you, I am not that perfect person. I am working on a fast day in and day out. I am always fasting too. I just literally showed you I'm up in weight right now, and it's something I'm working through. Do I feel bad about it? No. Do I feel guilty about it? No. It's Christmas. I went on vacation. I'm going to gain weight. It's going to be okay. Life is going to move on. You know what? The best thing about our journey is that tomorrow is another day. Today is a day to learn. Today is a day to accept imperfection. Tomorrow is another day to move forward and be okay with it, and add another day to your experience. Add another day to your fasting muscle. Add another day to your fasting experience. That's how you learn from this. That's how you keep moving when it comes to all of this. Andre with a $10 super chat. Andre, thank you. Thank you so much for the support as always. So many of the regulars here with the support. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support as always. Andre says, J-Man, on the 26th, I finished my 7th rolling 90-hour fast. Andre, you're about to catch up to me. Andre, congrats on the 790s in a row. I fell off for 2 days, but I started today and will not give up just because I had a hiccup. Exactly. Imperfect consistency. I love that for you, Andre. Andre, keep going. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for showing accountability in what you're doing. Appreciate you. And again, thank you so much for the support. As always, it helps support the channel. So keep going, Andre. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate you so much. So let me talk about goals since we're talking about 2025. Yes, I don't have any real resolutions. I'm not here to say this is what 2025 is going to be for me, but I do have goals, and I want to go through some of these goals for the year. And here's the thing. You've already seen these goals, so nothing has really changed when it comes to this. On November 6, 2024, after celebrating a year of performing rolling fasts, I got a DEXA scan done. They got me in at 145 pounds. At this point, I was 43.9 years old. I'm 44 now. And just, I know this is small here, so I just have a bigger version of this. When I got my DEXA scan done, they got me at right at 20% body fat, which is average. I don't want to call it optimal, but average body fat percentage for a male. I had 29 pounds of fat at 145 pounds. I had 111 pounds of lean tissue when I weighed 145, and then another 5.5 pounds was bone mineral content, which are I believe it's your bones and your blood. I'm not sure. So I share this DEXA scan because that is part of my goal for, and it's not even for the entire year of 2025. It's just, I have a certain goal that I want to hit on year number 2 of my anniversary of when I started my journey, which would be November 6th. And there's no surprise. My goal is to have an even better DEXA scan. My goal is not about weight. It's not about hitting a certain number on the scale, even though that's probably what will happen. But really what my goal is to gain more muscle and to lose more body fat, excess body fat. This was the same goal from November 6th. If you don't believe me, go watch my November 6th live stream. Is exactly the same thing. I don't even know exactly where my fat tissue is going to be, but I know I want it to be less than 29 pounds. I know I want to be under 20% body fat if I can. I want my lean tissue to go from 111 pounds to something higher. I want to gain more muscle. And my guess is by November 25th, if I can lose more excess body fat and gain more muscle, maybe I'll be somewhere around 130 pounds. That's my goal. That's honestly what I'm looking for part of my 2025 goals. Here's the other parts. And this is something I already shared too on November 6th. I did add a couple things in here, but it is to drop my A1C from 5.3 to under 5. If you don't remember, I had shared this on November 6th. When I had my A1C tested, A1C is for my diabetes. Before I had it tested in July, my A1C, the last time I tested it, which was 2+ years ago, it's 3 years ago at this point, was 9.9. That's what my A1C was at, 9.9. When I got it tested in July of 2024, it was 5.3. I remember telling the doctor, 5.3, why isn't it less than 5? And the doctor was like, Jerome, you've been a diabetic for 20+ years. You're not even on any medication. Like, this is great. But for me, I'm like, no, why isn't it under 5? And that is my goal. That's one of my goals as well, is to get my A1C under 5. So that's still a continuing goal for me. Other goals is to maintain my testosterone levels. The last time I had my testosterone checked was July 1st, and it was at 841. Hopefully it will still be up there. That is on the high range of testosterone versus where it used to be, which I believe at the lowest was 117. I think I have to double check. I remember when I first had my testosterone checked a couple of years ago, they told me I had the testosterone of like a 70-year-old male or female. I'm not even sure, but it was very, very low. And now when they tested it in July, it was at 841, which is on the high end. I don't think it can really get much better than that. Continuing goals, though, is to maintain my blood pressure and to also increase my sleep to 7 hours a night on average. I'm just going to say this to anyone in here. If you are not prioritizing your sleep, prioritize your sleep. Getting rest, getting recovery is probably one of the most important things that you can do. It is one of the things that I have not given myself over the last couple of years. I have always just said, sleep is sleep. And I'm starting to realize, especially as I lift heavy weights, having good rest and recovery is super important. It is another part of your weight loss lever. At this point, I feel like that's another lever you should have. If you're not sure what I mean about levers, when I talk about weight loss, I look at it in 4 ways at this point. It's your fasting lever, your diet lever, how good your diet is, your exercise lever, and your sleep lever. All of those 4 things you should continue to work on. If you are lacking in one of those things, you should really start prioritizing some of them. This is why I will also say, yes, I am a fasting channel. Yes, fasting is a big part of what I do, but so is my diet. So is my exercise. So is my sleep. Those things are super important for me, and they continue to be. Now, the only other thing that I added on here, if I had any type of goal in 2025, it would be to just continue imperfect consistency for the entire year of 2025. And I have no doubt that I can be imperfectly consistent for 2025. How can I be imperfectly consistent? By hitting my timer, by filling out my own spreadsheet, AKA logging my data, and by staying accountable and being transparent. How can I stay accountable? How will I be transparent? You're seeing it. You're watching it right now. You can go back on my YouTube channel or my Instagram or my TikTok, but mostly my YouTube channel, because that's where most of my content sits. You can see all of my videos from when I started on November 5th 2023, 2020, 2023, and you will see not only videos, you will see live streams, you will see YouTube shorts, you will see all of that content. All of that content, I have shared my journey since day one. There's no part of me that is lying, that is omitting anything. I am very transparent. I am very honest. I am very accountable about my journey. I weigh myself every single day. At the very beginning of this live stream, you saw where I recorded myself every day. Well, not every single day, but for the most part, to just give people a journey of where I've been and what I've been doing. I'm going to remind you that this journey has not been perfect. This journey has had its ups and downs. This journey has had vacations. This journey has had back-to-back eating days. This journey has had really shitty eating days. This journey has had really good fasting days, really good eating days, really good exercise days. But this journey has been 420 days of imperfect consistency, and there is nothing wrong with that. That is why I'm successful, is because I am imperfectly consistent. You can be too. If you are looking for that type of accountability, please reach out to me. It is something that I do for others when it comes to coaching. I'll talk about that in a second, but Gina Do Stuff. Hi, Gina Do Stuff. Became a new member of the Finally Fasting fam. Gina Do Stuff, thank you for joining. Anyone else who's a member, can we throw some F's up in the chat for Gina? Gina, thank you so much. I can't remember if you've been part of the Finally Fasting fam before, but if you have, appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you joined the autophagy group, I will see you on the 1st of January. I'll be doing a live stream that evening. So I appreciate you. Musa, at the same time, this is euro. €5. Do you have loose skin? Well, Musa, first of all, thank you for the support. Appreciate you so much. Do you have loose skin after losing weight? Yes, I do. I would just rewind on this live stream, but well, I guess I can do it. Yes, I do have loose skin. I've talked about this many times. I talk about it on every single live stream. One of the most obvious places I have loose skin is right here on my neck. You see, as I pinch here, it just doesn't come back as quickly. It's up here too. I have loose skin on my upper arms. I have loose skin on my lower belly. I have loose skin on my upper thighs. It isn't awful. One of the things that I tell people is that I lift weights fairly heavy. I lift weights because I hope that will help add muscle and help with the loose skin. So that's kind of what I do. Is my loose skin terrible? I don't think it is. I don't think it's awful, but it's there. I do have it. Yes, I do fast. A lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't have it because you fast. I don't know. I'm just sharing my journey. I'm 44 years old. I've been 100 plus pounds heavier before. I've also lost this weight, gained this weight, lost this weight, gained this weight. I don't think my skin stretches back like it used to, especially at this age. So I'm okay with it. There are also other videos of me with my shirt off as I've lost the weight. So maybe that's helpful for you to see as well. You just have to kind of go back on my channel there. But Musa, I appreciate the support. Thank you for the super chat. How can you minimize? I'll tell you the best way, at least I can think of, to minimizing it. Here's the thing. I cannot give you proof that fasting is why my loose skin isn't as bad or whatever, because I can only share what I've experienced. When I coach people, I'm not asking them to send me pictures of them with their shirt off or whatever, or their loose skin. But I do know that strength training, adding muscle, will not hurt and should probably help fill things out. So that is, if you're not lifting weights, if you're not using strength training as part of your regimen, I would highly look into that. Also, thanks for helping me start my fasting journey. You're very welcome, Musa. Please keep us posted on your journey. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. So at this point, I will take Q&A. If you have questions, please, you can ask them now. I will answer as many as I can. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them all, but and if there aren't any questions, then, we'll kind of wrap things up here. But before I go through any of the questions, yes, I do offer coaching. If you are struggling, if you need any type of help when it comes to fasting or weight loss or just accountability in general, I will say a lot of people that I work with, accountability is the one thing that's important to them. There are many of us that know already how to fast. We already know that we have to eat healthier. We know that we have to exercise. We know we have to sleep well. Well, I think some of us know we have to sleep well. I think there are some of us who still think that sleep doesn't matter, but I'll tell you that it does. But if you are looking for help in any of these types of facets of weight loss and getting your mind right, let's not forget, and honestly, that should have been part of my goal for 2025, is to make sure that my mental health is continuously being taken care of, because that's another important part too. But like I said, if you're looking for any help when it comes to that, there is a link here that I put up. You can sign up for coaching that way, but the link is also in the description. So please feel free to click that link. You can sign up for a session. We can talk about a plan and a strategy. We can talk about showing accountability, filling a spreadsheet out so that I get to see what you're doing. You also get a copy of mine, so you get to see what I'm doing. That's kind of how this works. We're accountable for each other. I know I tell people I act as a coach, but I also, honestly, anyone that I work with, I also look at them as a partner. You're also an accountability partner as well. So if that's something that might interest you, please feel free to take a look at that. But if you don't want to do something on a one-on-one basis that way, there's also a link in the description to join my autophagy live stream or my autophagy group. It is a membership where we all get together every Wednesday, 3 times a month. Although lately I feel like I've been doing that more, which is just a bonus for people who are members, where we spend about 45 minutes to just talk about our journey. It isn't just me talking. We hold accountability for everyone. We have a communal spreadsheet that I also fill out. So get this. Not only do I hit my timer, not only do I fill my own spreadsheet out, but I also host and participate on our weekly accountability live streams, where I will also fill out a spreadsheet as well. We all have our own goals. We all share what we're going through, if we're struggling, how things are going. So if that's something that interests you, which is kind of like a group coaching session, please feel free to join that as well. Sometimes people get on and talk on stream. Sometimes they just talk in audio. Sometimes they just talk in chat. But if that's something that might help you find success in what you're doing, look forward to joining you if that's something you're interested in. And as I say that, Universal Being is also another new member, although I don't know if you have been before, but Universal Being, thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. I will ask again, please, if anyone's a member, let's throw some F's up for Universal Being. I know that sounds cheesy, but I feel like it's a good way to just like welcome people in. Universal Being, I'm not sure if you joined the OMAD group or the autophagy group, but if you joined the autophagy group, I'll see you on the Wednesday night live stream. Appreciate you, Universal Being. Appreciate you. Okay, so let me go ahead and let me try to answer questions if there are any. Also, thank you for others here trying to help with the questions when it comes to loose skin. I don't think I've done any of those, but I should maybe even just give it a try to see. Chiliad. Chiliad asks, why did you refeed with so many calories? Was it a strategy? Chiliad, so the reason I refeed the way I do is because I just eat at a very, very high volume. I deal with an eating disorder. So in the past, during my binge eating days, I was about to call it a binge eating session, but during my binge eating days, I could eat 10,000, 20,000, probably more calories. I mean, I wasn't counting during my binging sessions, but I would literally eat all day, even if I wasn't hungry. for me, eating like that was a way to kind of like numb myself, to escape, to run away. And I think in turn, eating that way for me now, when I refeed, I eat to satiety. Now, this is a very touchy topic because some people are just like, well, you're still binging. Hey, you want to call it that? That's up to you. But I know what my binges are like, and it is nowhere near what my refeeds look like. So yes, I will eat 5, 6, 7,000 calories, but it takes me that amount to feel satiated. So I eat until satiety. It wasn't a strategy. Honestly, the strategy was, oh, I eat 6,000 calories. That means I need to fast for at least 3 or 4 days to get the weight off. So this is also why I tell people, just because I fast 90 hours doesn't mean that you should. Just because I eat 5, 6, 7,000 calories also doesn't mean that you should. So I don't want to call it a strategy. I only eat that way because I eat a lot. That's just kind of how it goes for me. So hopefully that helps answer the question. Again, please don't eat the way I do. I know sometimes I'll see people in the comments say, Jerome, but I can't eat that much. You shouldn't eat that much. You should work on your own journey. Figure out what fasting protocol works for you, is sustainable to you, can be consistent for you. Angela Rains asks, hi, Angela. Jerome, do you have tips on picking fasting goals? I've been doing 40 to 60-hour fast for 6 weeks and probably need to go longer, but my brain does not like the just start and see how you feel approach. Okay, so I have 2 questions for you. One, are you doing 40 to 60-hour fasts and you're still not losing weight? I guess I asked that question because if you are losing weight, are you not happy with the results? Do you feel like the results are too slow? If you do, there's nothing wrong with pushing it if you can healthily do it. But I also want you to be aware of running into burnout, running into, I don't want to do this because this is super hard. Anyone that I work with, I want to remind people that it's super important that you give yourself grace and you give yourself days where maybe you're not fasting that long every single time. Now, if you sound like me, where you say your brain doesn't like the quote unquote just start and see how you feel approach. And for me, that's why I was doing 90-hour fasts, because for me, when I told myself I was doing a 90-hour fast, then I already had a plan and a strategy. I know that doesn't work with everyone because sometimes it's hard to push a longer fast like that. But telling myself I was doing a 90-hour fast, it pretty much eliminated the negotiation my brain had on, let's say, the day I woke up and I was 60 hours fasted. I would tell myself, nope, today's not an eating day. I've said this many times. I don't negotiate with myself. I tell myself, today's not an eating day. Today's not an eating day. You're doing a 90, go do a 90. Today's a day that you are resting from food. Today's a day that you're going to be super busy with your work. Today's a day that you are going to heal your body. Today's a day that you are going to fill your brain and your body doing something else other than eating. So that's kind of how I approach it. It doesn't work with everyone, but that's where discipline really comes into play. You will always hear me say, practice imperfect consistency. I just want people to give themselves grace if they're not able to get through a longer fast, because this can be a double-edged sword too, because you can tell yourself you're going to do a 90-hour fast. And if you don't get to 90 hours, and let's say you get to 65 hours, sometimes people are like, well, I didn't get to 90. I only did 65. So you know what? I'm just going to binge. I'm just going to eat the shittiest today. I'm not going to do anything else. I wasn't going to walk like I had planned to walk. And that's the slippery slope of also giving yourself a very long fast and not hitting it. This is also where I tell you where accepting imperfection is going to be really important. So Maybe that's something you try out. The fact that you've been doing 40 to 60-hour fast for the last 6 weeks, I hope you're proud of that success. I hope you're proud of being able to do something that consistent for that long. So kudos to you. You'll have to keep me posted. I was going to say keep us posted. I'm sure other people want to hear about it as well, but I'm genuinely curious about how much success you've had doing 40 to 60-hour fast for the last six weeks. So thank you for the question, though. Hopefully that's been helpful for you. Yeah, Angela, you say here too. Thank you so much for all you do and you share. Of course, that's my goal, is to just be able to help people. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. Svalin, hi Svalin. How do you get over that emotional dependency on food in order to do the fasts? Svalin, and I don't know when you came in the chat here, but this is why I talk about showing up. This is why I talk about accountability. This is why I talk about consistently hitting your timer, consistently filling out your data, consistently being accountable to or for someone. So yes, I will always talk about coaching. I do feel like I do a pretty decent job at making sure people are on task if they can consistently show up, consistently fill a spreadsheet out. But I also want to remind people who are watching this, you don't need me either. If you have an accountability partner, if you have somebody to be accountable to or accountable for, that might be a great way of finding success. Now, when you talk about the emotional dependency on food, that's been me to a T, right? I've been that person where food has always been my comfort for the longest time. I mean, think about the 2+ years I was gone from YouTube. Food was always my easy escape. Food was my answer to everything. Food was my answer when I was sad, when I was happy, when I was stressed out, when I was bored, whenever things didn't go well at work, if somebody said something mean to me, if I felt somebody slighted me in any type of way, food was always my answer. No matter where I would go, food would be the answer to everything. The really bad part about it is if I was having financial struggles, food would still be the answer. I'd go spend all my money on food, even though it was affecting me financially. And that's also a great realization that food is not the answer. Now, here's the thing when it comes to emotional dependency on food is it is not an easy thing to get out of. I shared earlier that I'm 420 days into my journey. I think 258 days of those 420 have been without food. That means that for those 258 days or whatever number it was, I have not used food as an escape. It hasn't been easy to do that. I have talked about with people I coach reward systems and finding other ways to reward yourself outside of food. And maybe that's something that other people can start looking into as well. The emotional dependency on food, it varies from person to person. It varies on what triggers you have. It varies on why you're eating the way you are. It varies on what is happening during that time. I will say, when I coach people, I think, especially when it comes to things like that, that's where the conversations become really important. I think those are the conversations where you get to learn about yourself. You get to learn about why you do what you do, why you're doing what you're doing, and maybe trying to find some insights about that. Maybe journaling could be good in that way. I'm going to say it again. Maybe that's where coaching can be helpful for you. I am not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know everything, right? But I'm also somebody who's been through it. I've been through some shit. And I still continue to be in that place every now and again. I would be lying to you if I told any of you that on the days that I refeed, I don't occasionally look at it as a way to escape. as a way to give myself comfort, because I do have eating days like that. It isn't every single refeed, but at the same time, on the days I'm fasting, I can't use food in that way. So there has been a disconnect for me in that regard, but it isn't something that I feel like I'm fully cured of either. I also do think that's why those conversations are really important, especially if you're that type of person that deals with food in that way. Sometimes just being able to talk to somebody about it, I mean, it's the reason I go to therapy. Yeah, I think something like that's important too. Um, it's a very complicated subject. I think all of us deal with emotional eating in maybe some shape or form. Maybe some of us don't. I guess it's hard for me to believe that nobody doesn't deal with emotional eating every now and then, maybe because it's been something that has been a part of my life for 40 plus years. I also know that probably doesn't answer your question, but hopefully it was somewhat helpful. So I appreciate the question though. Mr. VO. Hi, Mr. VO. Nice to see you. Hi, J Man. Have you noticed since the weight loss of last year, your shoe size has gotten smaller? So this is a really good question, because this is actually something that I meant to talk about maybe in a future video. But yes, my shoe size also went down when I lost weight. Not only did my shoe size go down, but my earlobes have also gotten a lot smaller. So something that, and that was what I wanted to make a video about. Maybe things that people didn't realize happen, at least for me, when I lost weight. Two of the big things that I noticed happening was my hat size got smaller, my earlobes got smaller, and my shoes got smaller. It's really interesting where fat can stay. And as I continue to try to lean out more, it makes me wonder where else it's going to go. Although I think at this point, after I got my DEXA scan done, they said the majority of my remaining 29 pounds of fat, of course, I'm not trying to lose all 29 pounds of fat, but whatever excess I have is mostly located on my lower belly. So, yeah, but it's something I did notice. Did terrible for the month of December. I did manage to daily 20 to 24-hour fast. I still need to do better. I appreciate you being honest and sharing that. I know that isn't easy to share. At the same time, proud of you for doing 20 to 24-hour fasts. It sounds like you were still at least hitting your timer. And maybe even if you weren't hitting your timer, at least maybe there was mindfulness behind it. So you know you have to do better, but you're here showing up. You're here being accountable. So proud of you for that, Mr. VO. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Chiliad says, what time of the day is most difficult for you on fasting days? It's usually the evenings, but I've been doing this for so long. Like today's a fasting day. I guess I forgot to show this, although I try to show this. I don't want to use that phone. Let me use this one because I specifically did it for this. I'm currently 19 hours and 33 minutes fasted. I did refeed yesterday after completing a 65-hour fast. I think I finished at 68 hours. But today, for example, there's no part of me during the day that was hungry at all. But I think that's also because I've been doing this for so long. But usually the hunger comes later in the late afternoon or early evening for me. I don't know if it's like that for other people. I'm curious if other people are in chat and want to share when they get the hungriest during their fasts. Most people I coach, though, I do believe most people will say it's sometime during the late afternoons or the early evenings. I do have people, though, who do get hungry right when they wake up in the morning. I do have people. I have talked to people that I have coached. It's not like I have people locked away. I do have people that I have coached where eating in the mornings is they get hungry when they wake up. I have always noticed when I wake up in the morning after a fast, that's when I'm the least hungriest. So I think it might just be different for other people. Chiliad, you have a million questions. Any advice on sleeping on an empty stomach? This is where fasting experience really comes into play. I don't feel anything at this point. Um, this also might be a better question for other people in the chat because this is not something I really deal with. I'm okay falling asleep on an empty stomach, maybe because I'm so used to it at this point. I would leave this to other people. I'm sure other people have some tips. I know people have talked about taking magnesium. I know people have talked about taking, what is the other thing called that people take? Why am I forgetting it? Melatonin. Melatonin. Um, I also think for me, sleeping has become such a priority for me. I've given myself a routine where I try to sleep at the same time every night. I usually wake up at the same time every day, like clockwork. So getting into a routine helps. Working out helps tire me out too. So that's something that takes time as well. Building that routine. It's just another part of the lever that I think people have to continue working on. Oh, universal being. Thank you for sharing. And Dayru, thank you for the advice there too. Appreciate you guys. D Gibbs, how's it going, D? Since you lost the weight, is your confidence through the roof? And have the ladies been on you? uh D Gibbs, my confidence is up there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty confident in who I am. I'm pretty confident in my skin, but I think it's more than just that, right? Like I feel confident because I think I just value myself a lot more today than I have before. I think therapy has been helpful for me to recognize that value in myself. But I'm not going to lie, losing the weight has built up my confidence. Have the ladies been on me? I'm an old man. I don't go out much at all. So I'm very much a homebody. It's not like I go to bars or clubs or anything like that. So I haven't noticed women trying to pick me up here and there. So that's a different question though. Thanks, D. Appreciate you. Hi, Minard. I think yeah, you asked a question last week, right? Or did you just ask a question and I answered it earlier? I'm losing track. Maynard asks, we're like the same body size. I'm currently 97 kilograms. What is that in, oh, your ideal weight would be to 65 kilograms. So around where I'm at. I'm a little up though. Would you recommend to do 90-hour fast for 3 to 5 months first? Or should I take the easy route, fast like 48 hours that I can easily do? So, okay, Menard, let's have this conversation, okay? Would I recommend you doing 90-hour fast for 3 to 5 months? Let me, like I said earlier, let me explain why I did 90-hour fasts. I did 90-hour fasts because I eat 7,000 calories. Now, if you don't eat that many calories, you probably don't even need to fast for that long. Now, if you want to fast for 90 hours and you don't eat that much, you're going to lose the weight a lot quicker. That's just the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. If you fast for 90 plus hours and you don't eat the way I do, you'll get that weight off super quick. You probably won't even need to do it for 3 to 5 months, is my guess. Here's the other side of this. Doing 90-hour fasts over and over and over and over is not easy. That's also just the truth of it. And I'm not saying this to discourage you. I'm just saying that it is a very difficult thing to do. For me, the way I look at this is what the real question is, if you do 90-hour fasts and you were to do them rolling over and over and over, can you actually do it on a consistent basis? When you say you easily are doing 48-hour fasts, maybe my next question for you is, if you can easily do them, have you been doing them consistently? And if you haven't, maybe that's the first place you need to do, or the first place you need to go is, why don't you do 48, right? So like I see this, and 48-hour fasts are easy for you, but how easy have they been for you? Have you been able to do rolling 48s for a month? Have you been able to do rolling 48s for 3 months? Have you been able to do rolling 48s for 6 months? Maybe that's the real question. Now, I will add this in here as well. I'm not saying that you should just do 48s. What I'm saying is show some consistency first, just like I do with any other person I work with. And if you want to push a 90, you can push a 90. If you don't want to push a 90, that's up to you. So that's maybe the best advice I can give. Hopefully that's helpful. I don't mean to be, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it or anything like that. That's just me trying to be honest about the situation. If you're able to do 90s back to back, I would love to hear it. I would love to see that for you. I would love for you to get to your goal weight. You'll have to keep me posted. Appreciate the question though. Dayru asks, after a refeed, I'm like squinting because I don't have I should put my glasses back on. After a refeed, my body doesn't want to let go of the food. Any tips, or just deal with not having a bowel movement till eating again? Oh, that's what you meant. It doesn't want to let go of the food because of that. This is another question that I will leave up to chat and in the comments, because this isn't typically a problem for me. On the days of my refeed, 99 times out of 100, I am going to the bathroom for a bowel movement. It might not happen right away. Sometimes it'll happen right away. Sometimes it won't. I've had it though where it won't happen in that same day, but 99 times out of 100, I will have a bowel movement. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll say this. One of the reasons that I might though is because I eat a lot of fiber. That's been a big staple in my diet now. For every 1,000 calories I eat about 15 grams of dietary fiber. The recommended serving for dietary fiber for the average American for 1,000 calories, I believe, is about 14 grams. So if you're eating a 2,000 calorie refeed, you should be eating 28 grams of dietary fiber. And this goes to anyone who's watching this right now. Think about what your refeed looks like. Are you even eating? If you're eating a 2,000 calorie, which is the standard refeed for people, if you're eating 2,000 calories, are you even eating 28 grams of dietary fiber? If the answer to that is no, that might be something you might want to look into. And this isn't just for Dayru. This is just for anybody who's watching this. Hopefully that's helpful. Maybe there are other people in chat who can chime in with that, but that's kind of all I got with that. Do you drink water when you're thirsty, or have a target number of liters you hit on fasting days? I only drink water when I'm thirsty. I don't count how much water I drink. That isn't important to me. It might be for other people. I understand why it can be if that's something you want to do. I don't think there's any harm in it as long as you're not oversaturating yourself that you're pissing out all of your electrolytes. But I don't count how much water I take in. I also don't do that because I try not to be obsessive about what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing a lot already. I think for many of us, the important thing here is trying to find the consistency in what you're doing. That's why I don't try to push myself so hard with everything, because is it really sustainable? Can it be consistent? If the answer to that is no, then maybe it's time to take a step back every now and then and give yourself some grace. Okay, I think that's it for today. I know we're almost 2 hours in. A couple of things here before I kind of sign off. I'm going to remind everyone, like I do every week, I want all of you to remember to not let the weight on the scale fuck with your head. Do not let the weight on the scale make you act out. If you're that type of person that steps on the scale, you don't like what it says, then you say, well, what's the point of any of this? Stop it. I have proven time and time again, refeed after refeed, vacation after vacation. If I gain 15 pounds, if I gain 10 pounds, if I gain 18 pounds, if I gain 20 pounds, The moment I put in a 48-hour fast, a 65-hour fast, most of that weight will drop because I am holding water. I am bloated. Also, at the same time, the weight on the scale should not define you as a person. Don't let that weight on the scale control or value or devalue who you are. That isn't what makes you you. Think about your non-scale victories. Think about the clothes that fit you, that clothes that you can fit in. Think about the health markers, getting good blood work from your doctor. Think about all the non-scale victories when it comes to that. The energy you have, the better sleep that you get. There's so many other benefits than what the weight on the scale says. The weight on the scale is a good way to get a data point. It's a good way to see how the weight fluctuates back and forth, but it does not define you as a person. It shouldn't change who you are. Just remember that. I think too many of us hold too much value on the weight on the scale. There are too many of us that look at that scale and we either hate ourselves, we feel like we're not good enough. Fuck that. You are just as valuable today at this weight than whatever weight you're going to be 6 months from now to whatever weight you're going to be a year from now. Even if you gain 100 pounds, even if you lose 50 pounds. Yes, I know that sounds crazy to say, but what I'm trying to say is don't let the number. Listen, your journey is going to go up and down. You're going to have ups and downs. You have to be able to accept imperfection and be okay with it. Accept yourself for who you are today. Accept yourself, respect yourself, love yourself for who you are today. Andre with another $10 super chat. Andre, thank you so much for the support as always. Thank you for the double support. I appreciate you, Andre. J-Man, with this chat being our last of the year, I'm remembering how cool they have been and how special the Finally Fasting fam really is. Andre, that's such a kind thing to say. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm also really jazzed about the new year. Thanks, J-Man. You're very welcome. Andre, thank you for the support. Thank you for the kind words. I think this is actually a really great way to kind of end things off here too, is the fact that, Andre, thank you so much. I want all of you who are in here right now to think about what 2024 has been like for you. If you have been here and you have tried to be consistent and you have shown up, even if you haven't shown up every week, but you try to show up and you keep getting back on here and you know that you want to do good for yourself, kudos to you. I love that for you. I guess in the same respect, if you think about the year and if you find yourself here time and time again, but you find yourself starting over, you find yourself being in this place of like, I don't know why I can't get here. I mean, maybe it's time to really take a hard look at what is stopping you. Why are you having such difficulties? Do you think you're putting too many hard goals on yourself? Do you think you're not practicing imperfect consistency in a better way? Are you not giving yourself the grace that you feel like you should be giving yourself? Maybe you feel like you don't deserve that grace because you have been eating like garbage for the entire year. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve that grace because you are so overweight that what does it matter if I only lose a pound a week? That's not enough. And I'm here to tell you that it is enough. Maybe the challenge for a lot of you coming into the new year is, okay, maybe it isn't about hitting a number on the scale. Maybe it's showing consistency in a different way that you haven't done before. Maybe it's doing something different that you haven't done before because you're either too stubborn to do it, you're stuck in a really bad habit, or you're used to thinking all or nothing. You're used to being in that black and white mentality. You're thinking it either has to be this perfect, super difficult way of doing things or nothing is worth doing at all. And if you're that person who thinks that doing nothing at all is the better answer to reacting to not doing things in a perfect way, I hate to break this to you, but I'm going to tell you it's not the right way of doing it. And that's big coming from me, who has really done this all or nothing type thing for a long time. I had a very all or nothing mentality when I started my journey in November of 2023. That's why I did 90-hour fasts back to back to back to back to back. I think one of the reasons I was successful was not because of imperfect consistency then, but because of my accountability and because I showed up in a way that I have done maybe in the past, but in a very, very vulnerable way. I felt like I had something to prove and my motivation was super high then. But I also know that's not everyone's way of figuring shit out. I will say that after I hit my goal weight, imperfect consistency is what has then given me that success. I worked my ass off at the beginning. I had a very all or nothing mindset then. Yes, I think I told myself to still be imperfectly consistent, but I think there was also that part of my brain that was not willing to give that up. That's why when I had an 89-hour fast or 88 hours or whatever it was, I felt super guilty about it because the all or nothing mentality was still not good enough. That 88 hours isn't good enough because it's not 90. I feel like I was maybe lucky during those first 5 months because I had a lot of motivation. I had a lot of willpower. I did show up in a consistent way. I did show up and was completely vulnerable and transparent. And I just had a lot riding on it, I think, for me personally. But that isn't everyone's journey either. And that was only the first 138 days of my journey. I've been doing this now for an additional almost 300 days after that, and things have been very different. You saw it. I just shared that with you, that the fasting hours have gone less and less and less, but they've been consistent and I've shown up. And the reason that I show up every day is because it's sustainable for me. It doesn't feel like I am pushing super hard every single day. And I'm learning to accept imperfection. I'm learning to be okay with it. That's why sometimes when people are in the comments and they're like, but you're gaining weight, weren't you at whatever weight? Okay, yeah, that's life. I'm going to gain weight. I just literally spent 2 weeks in Japan. I ate back to back days, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's okay. I'm fine with that. I've also still fasted. I still performed imperfect consistency, and I'm okay with that. Just kind of leaving it at that. Before I go, I want you to remember you're not alone on this journey. Look at the people in chat. Look at the support that's being given. Look at everyone else that is also fasting with you. I say this as someone who is currently 19 hours and 52 minutes fasted. I know it's not a lot of fasting time, but yesterday I completed a 68-hour fast. I'm currently working on another 65-hour fast. And even though I don't have concrete plans for January, I'll just put it out like this. Right now, the only thing I'm thinking about is doing 65-hour fasts for the entire month of January. Whether or not that happens has yet to be seen, but I haven't shared this with anyone yet. I'm also going on vacation again in February, and this will be the longest vacation that I will be doing in a while, longer than the 2 weeks in Japan. That's, I guess, another story that you and I will have to talk about because I might be gone for a bit. I don't know yet, though. I might still do the live streams. I haven't thought about it, but at least for the next 6 weeks, for the entire month of January and the first half of February, I think I'm going to just try to keep pushing 65-hour fasts. And I would love to continue to lean out and build muscle and see where I'm at by mid-Feb. So we'll see where that's at. But again, you're not alone on this journey. We're doing this together. If you don't believe me, go look at all of the live streams. Go look at all of the videos, go look at all of the shorts, look at the people in chat, look at the people in chat from last week and 2 months ago and 6 months ago and a year ago and further than that. I have not stopped on this journey. It will never stop for me. For most of us, fasting is a part of my life. It's my lifestyle. Whether you want to believe it or not that fasting is a lifestyle, I think I've shown people it's a lifestyle. I think I've shown people it can be done. I think I've shown people that if you fast, you're not going to lose muscle. If you fast, you're not going to die. If you fast, you can still do normal things and be okay with it. I think I have the right to say that, being 420 days in, being 14 months in what I'm doing. This is the healthiest and happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I wouldn't trade it for the world at this point. I really don't have regrets when it comes to my journey, just because I know I've learned so much about myself, and I wouldn't be in this place today if it wasn't for accepting imperfection. How about we leave it there? So thank you everyone for the support today. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the kind comments. Thank you for all the super chats. I appreciate you all so much. It really does mean a lot to me. I will be completing my 65-hour fast on New Year's Eve. So I'll be breaking on the 31st, finishing another 65-hour fast. I will also most likely then be breaking on the 3rd of January, which is another 65-hour fast, and then another 65-hour fast on the 6th of January. And I don't see anything changing for the foreseeable future for at least the next 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks or so. So I think that's it. You'll see another video from me. You know, I put the videos out. I'm always here. I'm always showing up. The question is, will you show up next week? Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2025. Please do not wait until the new year. If you can start today, start today. Hell, tomorrow's Monday, but it's not the 1st. So if you can start tomorrow on a Monday, start tomorrow. Okay? Maybe for me. Bye, everyone. Have a great one. Happy New Year.